Imagine this, a cozy family living room on Christmas morning. Laughter echoing as wrapping paper tears open under the twinkling tree lights. A husband, a wife, two teenage daughters giggling over silly gifts. But hidden in one of those boxes is a simple DNA kit, meant for fun, for tracing roots and sharing laughs about distant ancestors. What starts as innocent curiosity spirals into a shattering truth that rips the heart out of a devoted father. And in the shadows of that betrayal, a quiet plan for revenge begins to form. One that isn't about destruction, but about reclaiming power in the most devastating way possible. If you've ever felt the sting of a lie that changes everything, if you've ever wondered how far you'd go to protect your world while making the betrayer pay, then stay with me. This story from the depths of Reddit will pull at your soul, build your rage, and deliver a payback that feels like sweet, silent justice. Hit that like button if you're ready for the ride. Subscribe for more tales of real-life reckonings. And let's dive in because this one hits close to home for anyone who's ever loved unconditionally. Picture me at 42. Solid job, stable marriage. Two amazing daughters who light up my days. Sarah, my wife of 20 years. She's the organized one, always planning family outings, keeping the house running like clockwork. Our oldest, Emily, 19 now. She's got this fiery spirit, argues with me over everything, from politics to which classic car is the best restoration project. We bond over greasy engines in the garage, her laughing at my bad jokes while we wrench away. Then there's Lily, 16, quieter, more like her mom. But the four of us were tight, or at least that's what I believed. 3 years ago, Sarah surprises us with these ancestry DNA kits. It'll be fun, she says, her eyes sparkling as we all swab our cheeks and seal the tubes. We mail them off, forgetting about it amid the holiday chaos. Weeks later, the email pings. Results are in. We huddle around the laptop, scrolling through pie charts of heritage, Irish on my side, Italian on hers. A mix that explains Emily's dark curls and Lily's fair skin. But then I notice something off. Emily's matches list me as nothing. No paternal link. Zero shared DNA. My stomach drops like I'm free-falling off a cliff. At first, I think it's a glitch, some lab mix-up. I refresh the page, heart pounding, but there it is again. Instead, she's got a high-confidence match to some stranger named Mark, labeled as a close relative, probably parent-child level. I click his profile, sparse details, but enough to see he's from our city, same age bracket as us. The timeline slams into me like a freight train. Emily was conceived right around a rocky patch in our marriage, when Sarah and I were fighting nonstop about money, about my long hours at work. She'd started a new job back then, mentioned a coworker named Mark in passing, but never dwelled on it. I feel the blood drain from my face as I stare at the screen, the room spinning. Sarah's beside me, her laughter fading as she sees my expression. "What's wrong?" she asks, voice trembling already. I point to the match, my fingers shaking. She goes pale, covers her mouth, and that's when I know. No denial, just instant guilt flooding her eyes. The confrontation happens that night, after the girls are asleep. We're in the kitchen, whispers sharp as knives. I demand answers, my voice low but cracking with fury. She breaks down, tears streaming, admitting it was a one-time mistake. A moment of weakness when she felt neglected, invisible in our marriage. Mark was charming, attentive, everything I wasn't during those fights. It ended quick, she swears. And when she found out she was pregnant, she convinced herself it was mine because she wanted it to be. "I love you," she sobs, reaching for my hand. I never meant for this to happen. But her words feel like acid, burning through the trust we'd built. I pull away, pacing the floor, my mind racing with images of her with him, of the life we'd shared built on this massive lie. Betrayal surges through me, hot, blinding. How many family photos, birthdays, school plays had I poured my soul into? Raising a child who wasn't biologically mine. And Emily, my girl, the one who calls me dad with that cheeky grin. Does this erase all that? No, I tell myself, clenching my fists until my nails dig into palms. Biology doesn't define fatherhood. I've been there for every scraped knee, every heartbreak, every triumph. But the pain twists deeper. Sarah let me love unconditionally while hiding this bomb. And Mark? That coward probably never knew. Or if he did, he walked away without a glance. In that moment, as Sarah begs for forgiveness, something shifts inside me. Not just hurt, but a cold resolve. I won't explode, won't shatter our family in rage. No, my revenge will be smarter, quieter, letting the truth simmer until it consumes those who deserve it. I nod, force a hug, tell her we'll move past it, pretend the test was flawed. But inside, the plan starts forming, a way to make her live with the weight, to confront the ghosts, and ensure justice without losing what matters most. Days turn to weeks, and I play the part perfectly. Family dinners, I smile, pass the potatoes, ask about Emily's college apps. But every dad from her lips stabs like a reminder, a fresh wound. Sarah watches me warily, tiptoeing around, overcompensating with affection that feels forced. I let her stew in it, her guilt a silent prison. Meanwhile, I dig deeper on my own. Late nights in my home office, I scour social media, piece together Mark's life. He's married now, too, with kids of his own, a successful exec at some tech firm. Photos show him at barbecues. Vacations, smug, content. Oblivious to the daughter he fathered and abandoned. Rage builds, but I channel it. I create a fake ancestry account. Link it subtly to poke at his family tree. Dropping anonymous hints in forums about unexpected matches. Nothing direct, just enough to plant seeds of doubt. One evening, I accidentally leave the DNA results open on my laptop when Sarah's cleaning. She sees it, freezes, and I catch her staring, eyes wide with fear. Thought we were past this, I say casually, closing the tab. She mumbles apologies. But I see the crack, the way she starts jumping at every phone notification, wondering if the secret's leaking. It's petty, sure, but satisfying. Watching her unravel bit by bit. The way she made me question my entire reality. The buildup intensifies when Emily starts talking about her heritage. Project for school. She's excited, rattling off the DNA breakdowns, but pauses when she mentions the odd match. Dad, why doesn't it show you as my parent? Must be a bug, right? Her innocent question hangs in the air, and I see Sarah go rigid across the table. I chuckle, ruffle Emily's hair. Yeah, kiddo, those tests aren't perfect. Probably mixed up samples. But inside, my heart races. This is the edge, the risk. Sarah shoots me a pleading look, and I hold her gaze just long enough to let her know I control the narrative now. That night, she confronts me in bed, whispering furiously, "You can't tell her. It would destroy everything." I turn to her, voice calm but steel-edged. "I know. That's why I'm protecting us. But you live with this every day, just like I do." Her face crumples, and for the first time, I feel a spark of power reclaimed. The injustice of her betrayal, the years of deception, it's not forgotten. My revenge isn't a dramatic showdown. It's this slow burn, making her carry the burden she forced on me. As months pass, I escalate subtly. I befriend Mark online under a pseudonym, joining the same car enthusiast groups Emily and I love. I drop comments on his posts, innocent at first, then weaving in details that mirror Emily's life. Her love for vintage Mustangs. Her quirky temper. He engages, clueless, sharing stories of his own kids. Each interaction fuels me, a reminder that he has no claim here. One day, I send an anonymous message through a burner account. Ever wonder about loose ends from the past? DNA doesn't lie. I attach a blurred screenshot of the match. No names, just enough to unsettle. I imagine him staring at it, sweat beading, questioning his perfect life. Sarah notices my late nights, asks what's wrong. I shrug it off, but she knows. Her paranoia grows. Checking my browser history, flinching at mentions of ancestry. The frustration stacks. Her once confident demeanor cracks, replaced by anxious hovering. Endless apologies in private. She's paying for the manipulation. The dismissal of my pain by living in constant dread. The breaking point hits during a family vacation. The kind Sarah always plans to reconnect. We're at a beach house. Waves crashing outside, but tension simmers inside. Emily's laughing with Lily, building sandcastles like when they were little. And I watch, chest tight with love mixed with ache. Sarah pulls me aside one evening, sunset painting the sky orange. "I can't do this anymore," she whispers, tears welling. "The guilt is killing me. Maybe we should tell her together." Her words ignite the fury I've banked. Tell her? Uproot Emily's world because Sarah wants relief? No, this is where I draw the line. "You made this mess," I say softly, eyes locked on hers. "You don't get to decide when it's over." We protect her, and you live with what you did. She recoils, the weight crushing her, and in that moment, I see the justice, her betrayal turned back on her, a mirror of the pain she inflicted. Now, the plan crystallizes. I won't blow up our lives, but I'll ensure Mark faces his part. Using public records, I track down his contact. Craft a letter, anonymous, of course. You have a daughter you never knew. She's thriving without you, raised by a real father. But know this, your one-night lapse. Echoes, live with the what-ifs. I mail it, no return address, and wait. Weeks later, scouring his socials. I see the change, posts less frequent. A vague status about reflecting on past mistakes. It's enough. He squirms in uncertainty, just as I did. For Sarah, the revenge is ongoing. Every family moment laced with her secret shame. A reminder that trust shattered can't fully mend. I help with homework, walk Emily to her car talks. All while she watches, knowing I hold the power to forgive or not. The execution unfolds meticulously. One dinner, I casually mention a news story about DNA scandals. Watching Sarah choke on her wine. Crazy how one test changes everything. I say, meeting her eyes. She nods weakly, the tension palpable. Later, alone, she begs again for absolution. I've suffered enough, she pleads. But have you? I think, remembering the knife twist of that results page. My response is measured. We're good as long as the family stays whole. It's control. Subtle dominance. The antagonist in her own story. Manipulated by the truth she hid. Climax builds when Emily announces she's doing her own deep dive into the DNA for a college essay. Panic flashes in Sarah's eyes as Emily chatters about contacting matches. I intervene smoothly, suggesting we focus on known family history instead. But privately, I guide Emily away from the truth, all while letting Sarah sweat it out. The peak comes at a family gathering. Mark's name slips in conversation via a mutual friend. Turns out he's divorced now, life unraveling. Sarah hears, goes ashen. I lean in later. Karma's funny, isn't it? Her nod is defeated, the payback delivered without a single raised voice. Wasn't that a masterclass in restrained revenge? The kind that lingers, makes you think twice about secrets. If this story hit you, smash that like. Share your own close calls in the comments. And subscribe for more Reddit tales where justice prevails. Until next time, remember, sometimes the best payback is the one they never see. Coming, the months after that. Beach vacations stretch into a slow, deliberate tightening of the noose I've quietly wrapped around the secret. I don't shout. I don't threaten divorce. I don't storm out. Instead, I become the perfect husband on the surface, attentive, helpful, even affectionate in small calculated doses. Breakfast in bed on weekends. Surprise flowers just because. Long drives where I hold her hand and talk about the future like nothing ever cracked. Sarah eats it up at first, relief washing over her face every time. I kiss her forehead and say we're okay. She thinks the storm has passed. That forgiveness is settling in like dust after a fight. But I'm not forgiving. I'm curating. Every gentle gesture is another layer of contrast to the cold distance I let slip in private moments. When the girls aren't watching, when the house is quiet. A single raised eyebrow when she reaches for me in bed. A pause that lasts one beat too long before I answer. I love you too. Tiny fractures she feels but can't name. She starts second-guessing herself constantly. Did I leave the coffee pot on? Is the laundry folded wrong? Is he mad about something I don't even remember? Her anxiety becomes my silent ally. Meanwhile, Emily's college applications are in full swing. She's brilliant, driven, the kind of kid who makes you proud just by existing. One evening, she comes bounding into the kitchen waving her laptop. Dad, look, I got into the honors program at State. Full ride potential if I nail the essay. I pull her into a bear hug, spinning her around the way I did when she was 6. Both of us laughing until we're breathless. Sarah stands in the doorway watching, eyes glassy. A smile plastered on that doesn't quite reach. Later that night, she tries to initiate intimacy, something. She hasn't done much since the DNA bomb. I let it start, then gently roll away. Not tonight, I murmur. Long day. She curls into herself, back to me, and I hear the smallest hitch in her breathing. Not sobs, just the sound of someone swallowing hurt. Good. Let her taste a fraction of the rejection I swallowed for 3 straight years. I keep the mark thread alive without ever crossing into traceable territory. Through the anonymous Ancestry Forum account I've nurtured, I post vague success stories about people discovering long-lost relatives and how it reshaped their sense of identity. I know he's watching because his profile views spike after each one. Then I drop the real hook, a carefully worded post titled, "When the past shows up uninvited. How do you protect the family you built?" I describe, without names or specifics, a man who fathered a child during an affair 20 years ago. Never knew, never reached out, and now wonders what became of that life. I end with, "Some doors should stay closed. But curiosity is a hell of a drug." Within 48 hours his account goes private. No more vacation photos, no more check-ins at fancy restaurants. I find a single cryptic status update buried in an old thread. Sometimes you learn things you wish you could unlearn. It's enough. The man who once walked away without consequence is now carrying a ghost of his own making. Sarah's unraveling accelerates in subtle, delicious ways. She begins obsessively checking her phone, jumping when it buzzes. Convinced every unknown number is somehow connected. She starts therapy, secretly at first, then admits it to me one tearful night. "I need to fix what I broke," she says. I nod solemnly, rub her back in slow circles. "That's brave," I tell her. Inside I'm thinking, you don't get to fix it. You get to live with it. The therapist apparently encourages radical honesty because Sarah comes home one afternoon and tries again. We're alone in the garage. Me tinkering with the '67 Mustang Emily and I are rebuilding. Tools clink, engine grease on my hands. She stands in the doorway, arms wrapped around herself like she's cold despite the summer heat. "I think we should tell Emily," she whispers. "Not everything, just enough so she knows. I made a mistake and you're still her dad. She deserves the truth." I set the wrench down deliberately, wipe my hands on a rag, turn to face her. My voice stays even, almost gentle. "You want to tell her because the guilt is eating you alive. You want absolution. But telling her isn't about her, it's about you. And I won't let you sacrifice her peace so you can sleep better at night." Sarah flinches like I slapped her. Tears spill instantly. Then what do? She chokes out. I step closer. Close enough she can smell the motor oil on me. Close enough she has to tilt her head to meet my eyes. "You do exactly what I've been doing for 3 years. You smile. You show up. You love her like nothing changed. And you carry the weight. Every single day. That's your penance." She crumples against the workbench, shoulders shaking. I don't comfort her. I pick up the wrench and go back to the carburetor. The real turning point, the moment the revenge crystallizes into something irreversible, comes during Emily's 19th birthday. We throw the party she wanted, backyard string lights. Her favorite playlist, friends from high school and new college buddies. A bonfire pit crackling under the stars. She's radiant, hair loose, laughing as she opens gifts. When she gets to mine, a restored key fob. For the Mustang we've been working on. Together, she squeals, throws her arms around my neck. "You're the best dad in the world," she says loud enough for everyone to hear. Cameras flash. Sarah stands a few feet away holding a plate of cake, smile frozen, eyes shining with something between pride and pain. Later, when most guests have left and it's just family cleaning up, Emily pulls me aside near the fire pit. Embers glow orange against the dark. "Dad, can I ask you something serious?" My pulse kicks up, but I keep my face calm. "Always, kid." She hesitates, then says, "I've been thinking about that DNA thing again. The match that didn't make sense. I almost messaged the guy, Mark, just to ask if it's a mistake. But something stopped me. I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm not supposed to know." She looks up at me, searching. "Do you think I should leave it alone?" I feel Sarah watching us from the patio, frozen mid-step with a stack of plates. I put my arm around Emily's shoulders. Pull her close so her head rests against my chest. "Listen to your gut," I tell her softly. "Some answers don't bring peace. They just bring questions you can't unask. You already know who your family is. That's what matters." She nods, exhales like a weight lifted. "Yeah, you're right." We stand there a minute longer. Fire popping, crickets loud in the grass. Across the yard, Sarah meets my gaze. Her face is pale, lips trembling. She knows exactly what just happened. I just gave our daughter permission to bury the truth forever. And I did it in front of the woman whose lie made it necessary. The look in Sarah's eyes isn't anger. It's surrender. Complete, bone-deep surrender. From that night forward, the dynamic shifts permanently. Sarah stops pushing for confession. She stops hovering. She becomes quieter, more withdrawn. A shadow moving through the house she used to command. She still cooks dinner, still plans holidays, still kisses the girls goodnight, but the spark is gone. She's serving a life sentence in her own home. And I'm the warden who never raises his voice. Mark, from what I can tell through distant digital breadcrumbs, has retreated further, fewer posts. A LinkedIn update saying he's taking time for personal reflection. Rumors from mutual acquaintances that his marriage didn't survive the unexplained tension. I don't gloat. I don't need to. The revenge isn't loud explosions or public humiliation. It's this. They both wake up every morning knowing a piece of their past is a loaded gun. I keep in my nightstand. One word from me, and everything unravels. But I never say the word. I just let them live with the possibility. And me? I still ache sometimes. Late at night, when the house is silent and Emily's laughter from earlier echoes in my head, I feel the old stab of what-ifs. But the ache is quieter now, tempered by purpose. I protected what's mine. I made sure the people who broke trust paid a price that fits the crime, not in dollars or scandal, but in the slow poison of never being able to forget. Emily calls me dad without hesitation. Lily still runs to me for advice. The family is whole. And Sarah and Mark? They carry the fracture lines. I etched into their lives. Quietly. Permanently. Justice, it turns out, doesn't always roar. Sometimes it just whispers, I know, every time they look in the mirror. That's where the story sits today. No dramatic finale. No courtroom tears. No viral confession. Just a man who chose protection over destruction and made damn sure the guilty ones feel the cost every single day. If you've ever had to swallow betrayal and keep smiling for the people you love, you know exactly how heavy that choice can be and how satisfying it feels when the scales finally tip back in your favor. Phew, that one left me quiet for a minute. What do you think? Was the revenge too subtle? Or was that slow burn silence exactly what made it sting? Drop your thoughts below. Hit like if this one hit different. Share it with someone who needs to see that real payback doesn't always need fireworks. Subscribe if you want more. Stories where the good guy doesn't just survive, he wins without ever raising his voice. Next one's already in the works. See you there. Years pass, but the rhythm never quite settles back into anything resembling the old normal. Time doesn't heal this wound. It just teaches everyone how to walk around it without bleeding too obviously. Emily graduates college with honors, lands a dream internship at an automotive design firm 3 states away. The day we help her move into her tiny apartment, she hugs me so tight I can feel her heartbeat against mine. Thank you for everything, Dad, she says, voice muffled against my shoulder. I wouldn't be here without you. I kiss the top of her head, throat too thick to answer right away. Sarah stands a few steps back, holding a box of kitchen stuff, smiling through tears that look genuine enough to fool anyone who doesn't know the history. When Emily turns to hug her mom, Sarah clings a second longer than usual, whispering something I can't hear. Emily laughs, wipes her eyes, and waves us off from the doorway like she's been independent her whole life. Driving home that evening, the highway stretching empty ahead of us, Sarah finally speaks. She's really gone. Her voice is small, almost childlike. I keep my eyes on the road. Not gone, just grown. Silence stretches for miles. Then, quietly, I still dream about telling her. Every few months, I wake up convinced today's the day. I ruin everything. I let the words hang there. Let her feel their full weight. You won't, I say eventually, because you know what it would cost her. And deep down, you know that's the only reason you've kept quiet. She doesn't argue. She just nods once, turns her face to the window, and watches the mile markers blur past. Lily's senior year flies by in a whirlwind of prom dresses, college tours, and late-night study sessions. She's chosen pre-med, wants to be a pediatrician, because kids deserve someone who actually listens. Every time she says it, I feel a quiet pride swell in my chest, partly because she's brilliant, partly because I know Sarah hears the unspoken contrast. Sarah has thrown herself into being the perfect supportive mom with almost frantic energy. She volunteers for every school event, bakes endless trays of cookies, shows up early to every game and concert. On the surface, it's devotion. Underneath, it's desperation. A woman trying to outrun her own shadow. I never call her on it. I don't have to. The more she performs, the more obvious the performance becomes. Mark's life, from the scraps I still occasionally check, has continued its slow implosion. Divorce finalized 2 years ago. Ex-wife got primary custody. He moved to a smaller house on the edge of town. Started posting fewer photos. Mostly solo shots now. Him at the gym, him hiking alone, him holding a beer on a patio that looks too empty. Once, in a rare moment of weakness, I almost sent him the full screenshot of Emily's DNA match with his name. Circled. Almost. But I deleted the draft. That kind of direct hit would be too clean, too quick. I want him to carry the uncertainty forever. The nagging suspicion that somewhere out there is a daughter he never met, never helped raise, never even knew existed until the past reached up and tapped him on the shoulder. Let him wonder every time he sees a girl Emily's age whether she could be his. Let that question live rent-free in his head the way his betrayal lived in mine. Sarah and I still share a bed. Still exchange polite kisses goodbye in the mornings. Still sit side by side at parent-teacher conferences and holiday dinners. But intimacy dried up long ago. Not dramatically. No fights. No slammed doors. It just faded. She stopped initiating. I stopped pretending to want it. We became roommates who are very good at coordinating calendars and dividing chores. Sometimes I catch her looking at me with something like longing mixed with fear, like she's waiting for permission to feel something again. I never give it. Not because I'm cruel, because forgiveness isn't mine to hand out on demand. She took something irreplaceable from me, the uncomplicated joy of fatherhood. In return, I took the uncomplicated joy of marriage. Fair trade. The final quiet chapter comes on Emily's wedding day. She's 26 now, marrying a kind, steady engineer who treats her like she's the center of gravity. The ceremony is outdoors, late spring, cherry blossoms drifting like pink snow. I walk her down the aisle in the restored Mustang we finished together years ago, top down, engine purring low and proud. She squeezes my arm, eyes shining. You ready to give me away? She teases. I swallow hard. Never. But I'll let him borrow you for a while. At the altar, when the officiant asks who gives this woman, I say the traditional words. Voice steady, even though my chest feels cracked open. Then I lift her veil, kiss her cheek, and step back. Sarah is already crying, silent, elegant tears that don't smudge her makeup. She reaches for my hand as I sit beside her. I let her take it. Our fingers laced together out of long habit, but there's no warmth in it. Just acknowledgement. We watch our daughter promise forever to someone else. And for a single heartbeat, everything feels almost right. After the ceremony, during the reception, Emily pulls me onto the dance floor for the father-daughter dance. The song is Landslide by Fleetwood Mac, her choice. As we sway, she rests her head on my shoulder. You know, she murmurs, I never messaged that guy from the DNA test. I thought about it a lot, but every time I went to hit send, I remembered how safe I always felt with you. How you showed up. Every single time. That's what family is, right? Showing up. My eyes burn. I tighten my arm around her waist. Yeah, kid. That's exactly what it is. Across the room, Sarah watches us. Our eyes meet over the crowd. For once, there's no pleading in her gaze. No guilt clawing at the edges. Just quiet acceptance. She knows the score. She knows I kept the secret locked away not for her sake, but for Emily's. And in doing so, I made sure the punishment fit the crime perfectly. Sarah gets to keep the family she almost destroyed, but she never gets to forget she almost destroyed it. The song ends. Emily kisses my cheek, whispers, I love you, Dad, and goes back to her new husband. I stand there a moment, breathing in the scent of flowers and barbecue smoke, feeling the weight of the last decade settle into something bearable. Not gone, not forgiven, just carried. Later that night, back at the hotel, Sarah and I sit on the balcony overlooking the city lights. Neither of us speaks for a long time. Finally, she says, very softly, thank you. For protecting her. For protecting us. I look at her, really look. The lines around her eyes are deeper now. The fire that used to light her up has dimmed to embers. I didn't do it for you. I tell her honestly. I did it for her. But you're still here. And so am I. That's something. She nods once, tears slipping free again. This time I don't look away. I reach over, wipe them with my thumb. Not tenderness, exactly. Just acknowledgement that we're both still breathing through the wreckage. We never speak of it again. Not directly. Life moves forward. Grandkids eventually. More milestones. More ordinary Tuesdays. The secret stays buried. Emily never knows. Lily never knows. Mark never knows for sure. But Sarah and I, we know. Every family photo, every holiday toast, every casual love you carries the echo of what almost was. And in that echo lives the revenge. Silent, permanent, perfectly proportioned. I protected what mattered most. And I made damn sure the people who endangered it never forgot the price. That's the end of the story. No explosions. No viral takedowns. Just a man who chose love over vengeance. And still made sure justice arrived. Quiet as a closed door. If this one sat heavy with you, if it made you think about the difference between revenge and consequences, drop a comment and tell me. Was the slow burn worth it? Would you have handled it differently? Like the video if it resonated. Share it with someone carrying their own silent weight. And subscribe if you want more real stories where the quiet victories hit hardest. Until next time, protect what's yours, even when it hurts like hell. Thanks for watching.